Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to high school wrestling action as the Sayreville Bombers visit the East Brunswick Bears. I'm your host for this evening, Greg DeMarco, and I'm joined here with Athletic Director Frank Noppenberger. Frank, I think we're going to have a good match here on our hands.
Well, I think anytime the Bears go against the Bombers in any athletic event, it's going to be exciting, and it's probably going to go down to the wire.
It is a big rivalry. Coach from Sayreville, Lenny Zaleski, hopes to nail one here tonight against East Brunswick. But as a point of information, Sayreville has never beaten East Brunswick. But they are hungry tonight. East Brunswick comes down into this event with a 1-4 record, so they're down a little bit. Sayreville is riding on top with a 5-2 record, so this does promise to be a very good match. And in action right now at 103 pounds for East Brunswick, we see Mark Ginsler, a young freshman with a lot of talent, working for a takedown. However, he just got taken down by Sayreville's Corinne Patel, also a freshman. Mark comes into this match with a 9-3 record, and despite his youth, he is a very intense, hard-working wrestler. His older brother graduated sometime earlier and has passed down a lot of that technique to his brother. So we have a 2-0 score for Sayreville, and Mark is now going to work to get out from underneath to score some points. But Sayreville right now is up by 2-0. Now the referee indicating locking of hands, which is an illegal hold unless it's a pinning combination. And he won't stop the match if East Brunswick is in the process of scoring points, like we are about to do. Mark very close to getting a reversal, which he just got now. So that's 2 points reversal, 1 point for that illegal hold, and we're looking at a 3-2 wrestling match. Now, Frank, you have a wrestling background. Do you understand any of this that's going on here?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I was just going to ask you your opinion or reason why there's so many freshmen wrestling at the varsity level now as compared to maybe when you coach.
Well, I think a lot of that has to do with the youth programs that East Brunswick and other schools in the area have developed. These kids are getting experience as 4th and 5th graders, whereas years ago those programs didn't exist. And to be honest with you, wrestling is not a brute strength physical sport. It's a technique sport. And right now you see Mark, he's working something here called a far side cradle. He's working hard for the fall, and time ran out for the first period. But you'll see 2 near fall points there, and that's an example of the technique we're talking about. In the old days, the stronger, faster wrestler would win, but those days are over. It's the one with the most experience and the most technique.
Now, is it my imagination or is my perception off too that most of the lower weights are dominated by the underclassmen?
No, that's correct. And the reason is at the high school level, there aren't that many 103-pounders who are either seniors or juniors. So naturally, those weight classes, the earlier ones, would be dominated by the younger grades, mainly sophomores or whatever.
Right.
And now we're into the second period here. The score is 5-2 with Mark Ginsler up on top. He's been known to have some big wins against some quality wrestlers, such as from Morris Knowles and last week against Woodbridge with a John Cheddar. But East Brunswick wants to come out smoking here, and I'm sure they're looking for 16 points to get a good early lead, because Sayreville is hungry. I talked to Coach Zaleski, and he hopes tonight is the night that they break the streak. Once again now, the Sayreville wrestler has locked his hands, but East Brunswick came through with a reversal and another reversal. We've got a high-scoring form of competition here. It's 7-4 currently.
Now, Greg, it's no secret that East Brunswick's strength is in the lower weights. How does Sayreville's upper weights compare to ours?
That's their strength.
That is their strength.
So we have strength against weakness.
So what do you see? The middle as being the deciding factor, the middleweights?
This kind of competition, it's really every match is going to be crucial. It would be unfair to say that this match is important or another one is important. Really, every kid that walks out on this mat could be the hero tonight. Looks like Mark now is starting to gain his second win here. He's hungry to continue going. He's got a nice 10-4 lead. We have 21 seconds left in the second period. And we have a little break in the action here as one of the Sayreville wrestlers adjusts his equipment. And you see Coach Glenn Pazinko giving some counseling to Mark. Hopefully he's been able to point out a few of his opponent's weaknesses. And that is a very big part of winning a bout, to get that coaching from the sidelines. Both wrestlers now in the center of the mat getting ready to continue. This is a big rivalry, ladies and gentlemen, and both teams are hungry. Sayreville wants to continue a fine 5-2 record and then improve upon that. East Brunswick's down a little bit with 1-4, so they want to get back into this.
Greg, do you think that 1-4 record is an indication of how strong our program is, or do you think the quality of the teams we wrestle may have something to do with that?
I think it's a combination of two. East Brunswick, without a doubt, this is one of the youngest teams ever, and they will get their lumps. But additionally, their competition has been very good. For example, Woodbridge, for years and years, was not known as a wrestling power. They came in here last week in a match that I saw, and they are good. They're a quality team. So it's really both. It's the youth of East Brunswick against some teams which have improved. But it's not your normal 1-4 record. It has been against good teams, but East Brunswick's got a lot of promise. And if these kids stick with it, their day will come. Okay, we've got 7 seconds left yet here in the second period. Of course, each match consists of 3 periods. And we're winding down now. We've got a 10-4 score. East Brunswick's got a commanding lead, but we need more. We'd like to see 16 points up there, which of course a pin would do for us.
Now, have the rules changed as far as major decisions are concerned and team points?
Well, this year the rules are pretty much the same, Frank. If you get a pin or a forfeit or a default or you win by disqualification, that's going to consist of 16 points. If you get a technical fall in which you beat your opponent by more than 14 points, you'll get 5 team points. If you beat them between 8 and 14, you'll get 4. And if you beat them by less than 8, you'll get 3. In the event of a draw in a dual meet, it'll be 2 team points for each wrestler. So you've got the whole range there of a victory, and you can get anywhere from 2 team points up to 6, depending upon how bad you beat your wrestler. Now we see Mark working here to get out. Sayreville, of course, trying to break down and get a pinning combination. And of course, you could get the knockout. The knockout in boxing is equivalent to the pin in wrestling. So even though Mark's got a 10-4 lead, Sayreville could come back and pin, and it doesn't matter. That's it. That's the ball game. So as someone once said, it's not over till it's over, and certainly if you try to sit on a lead, you're going to be in big trouble.
Okay, what does Mark have to do here? It seems like Sayreville's catching up here. We got 30 seconds left. What would you be telling him right now if you were his coach?
Mark's got to control hands, which he isn't doing, but he is managing to get out right now. So he got 1 point for a neutral. He's very aggressive. He shot in on that takedown right away, which is very important. That's very hard to get wrestlers to do that. He's working for the takedown. and he secures it, but now he's got to go for it. He's got to hunt for the head, and he's got to go for the fall. He's got 4 seconds to do it. And there we go. That's the end of the match. East Brunswick coming away here with a 13-6 victory. That is a 7-point margin. We could have used 1 more point there, but we will walk away with 3 team points there. By the way, his opponent there had a pretty good record. He had a 6-4 record, and he too was a freshman. So that was a nice matchup, and both wrestlers had a pretty good bout. By the way, Frank, if I could mention here, we talk about Sayreville looking to beat East Brunswick, and that would be make their year for them, and that's true. But it's not true in anything. So many of the area schools look to East Brunswick as the model for almost every athletic activity. They could be 1-8, but if that one was against East Brunswick, it'd make their year. It's like Notre Dame.
Right. Well, sometimes it seems like everybody's up for the Bears, because whenever they come in here, they're flying high.
Without a doubt, and that's a tribute to the athletic program here. We're at 112 pounds now. Eugene Lazark, only a sophomore, has just gotten taken down by Tom LaFrancini, who's a senior. So we have really a big difference in matchups here. Lazark is just a sophomore, and his Sayreville opponent is a senior. He's been around for a long time, and the Sayreville coach felt that this would be a big match for him. So let's see what Eugene can do. He's working to get an escape now. Sayreville doesn't want to have anything to do with that and brings Eugene down to the mat. And this is the second bout of 13. We've got East Brunswick leading 3-0. Oh, nice move there by Eugene. Nice hip toss. He's got to get control, though, before he's going to get any points. Referee Bill Lanny just awarded that 2 points. And he is assisted here tonight by Wayne Smith.
Now Wayne, is he like in training? Is that how you would describe him, or is a cadet, in other words?
Yes, and this is a great concept brought up by Dick Materani, and this is known as a provisional referee. He is there strictly as an observer, can make no calls. The only thing he can do is catch the wrestlers as they go out of bounds. So he's kind of a catcher for this. But he's in training, and this is a good experience for him. They're pairing up a young ref with an experienced one, and hopefully it will improve the quality of refereeing. We've got a 2-2 tie now going into the second period.
Now, is that a new concept with this extra referee?
Yes,
I think this is the first year, as a matter of fact, right?
Yes, it's brand new, but I got to stress again, that referee, that second referee, is there only as an observer. He really can't affect the match at all. Eugene managed to score 1 point for an escape. He's got a 3-2 lead. This would be a big win for East Brunswick. Anytime you can get a sophomore to defeat a senior, that's a good sign, and that would bode well for East Brunswick's chances here tonight.
Now, in talking to Coach Pazinko, what was his feeling on this match? Is this where Gene's got to wrestle very well, or is this a give me, or is this one up in the air?
This is one where we would say Sayreville is favored, but East Brunswick's got a shot. And with 1:23 left in the second period, we're doing pretty good. We have a 3-2 lead, but again, you can't sit on a lead. You've got to wrestle a full 6 minutes, and that's what Eugene's got to do. By the way, we talked about the rivalry. Coach Pazinko, and we just scored 2 points there. Now we've got a 5-2 lead for Eugene. Coach Pazinko, of course, was a former East Brunswick wrestler. And one of his big rivals is across the way here, the assistant coach for East Brunswick, Mike Bouchard. And Glenn and Mike used to have some battles royale back in their days, and that only adds a little bit more to the competition that we have here tonight.
Will you ever forget that match they had here that night?
I don't think so.
That goes down as one of the all-time highs.
Yes.
At East Brunswick.
Yes, Mike Bouchard was the heavyweight. Glenn was our 188, and we moved Glenn up to face him. And Glenn came away with a nice victory that night, I guess. And we've got some memories going way back here. This gym is, we've got ghosts roaming this gym. There's a lot of great events took place in here throughout the years.
And that was one of the most exciting single events.
Why are you saying that now? You were a basketball coach. What?
Well, I like all sports, and I was here for that, and I was cheering and hollering, and it was just so exciting. I mean, two good wrestlers, both very good wrestlers, and Glenn moving up. And I don't know, did that have any outcome on the match itself?
Who knows?
No, it didn't. I remember. It didn't. It was just the excitement of the two superstar wrestlers.
Yeah.
Just testing your memory there, Coach.
And I'm losing it, too. Okay, we're going into the third period here at 112 pounds, and East Brunswick with a 5-3 lead. But I got to tell you, that is one of the appeals of wrestling. You've got two outstanding athletes. They both step into the arena, and one's going to walk away with a victory. And, it's known as man's oldest sport, and it truly is. Now, East Brunswick just secured, Sayreville just secured an escape, so we have a 5-4, a 1-point margin here. A takedown by Sayreville would win it, but on the other hand, East Brunswick don't want to hear it.
He's almost going to turn him.
Going for the takedown, get that arm out, Eugene, and you're going to look at 2. And referee Bill Lanny does indicate that. We have a 7-4 lead, and this is a big match, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have an interesting situation there, Frank. The referee stopped the match for a potentially dangerous maneuver, which means it wasn't even dangerous yet, but it did have that potential, and this is one of the benefits of wrestling. The rules are there to protect the wrestlers. We don't want anybody hurt, and for the most part, it is a safe sport. It's the only one in which the competitors compete on a 2-inch foam mat. We've got a referee for 2 competitors who is there to ensure the safety of the wrestlers. We've got rules, so it's compared to some other sports, it is a safe sport.
I take it you're a wrestling fan then?
Yeah, and I'm talking to the mothers out there too right now.
My savior just walked in the door, I see. I see Mr. Deal walking in.
Okay, and you're filling in for Gordy Deal, who will be here momentarily. And Frank, I want to thank you for being here. We've got some great wrestling action going on here with Eugene. Still holding commanding lead, and once again, we have that signal there of potentially dangerous. We saw some great wrestling action, and Frank, you can join me here at this table anytime.
Thank you. Let me just publicly thank Gordon Deal for his volunteering of his time for our athletic events in the fall and now in the winter. So
very good.
I'll take off now and welcome Gordy.
And thank you, Frank. And we've got Eugene here working for some near fall points. We've got 3 seconds left in the match, and East Brunswick is going to walk away here now with an 11-4 victory in which Eugene Lazark, sophomore, defeats a senior from Sayreville in a very, very big match. So congratulations to Eugene there. Wrestled like a veteran, and he's got a lot of good years left ahead of him. And joining me in the booth now, Gordy Deal. How are we doing, Gordy?
Hi, Greg. Nice to be here. Nice to be here.
You've been chasing helicopters, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Gordy, we're beginning now the third bout of the evening, the third of 13. We've got Rich Klein, a sophomore, against Tom Martinez, a junior. And again, a mismatch in grades, sophomore versus junior. But the action promises to be rough and ready here.
Looks like a pretty raucous crowd tonight as well. Good turnout.
A good turnout, and again, tradition. This is Sayreville versus East Brunswick. And any athletic event, this does tend to bring people out. It's a big rivalry, and we've got some great, exciting matches here. Okay, and we have there an illegal call. You can't hit your opponent in the head like that, so that's 1 point for East Brunswick. Referee warning the Sayreville wrestler not to do that again. We've got 1 minute to go in the first period here, with East Brunswick now losing a takedown, so we have a 2-1 lead for Sayreville. And so far now we have East Brunswick coming away with 2 victories at 103 pounds. Mark Ginsler winning by decision. At 112 pounds, Eugene Lazart, another decision. So we have East Brunswick up by 6-0. We're in the third bout at 119 pounds, and Rich Klein now at the start of the second period is down by 1 point.
I'll tell you, Greg, one thing I've always felt about wrestling, especially in the Olympics, when it's such a time of country unity and things like that, is that wrestling seems to epitomize different nations' political philosophies. So when you see like an American wrestling a Soviet, it always used to seem in the past like that it was country versus country. I thought wrestling always epitomized something like that. Now, you've been around the sport for a while. Is that?
Yeah, this is something that I allured to earlier. It is man's oldest sport. It is the noblest. 2 men walk into an arena. One's going to walk out with his hand raised in victory. And when you see an American versus a Russian, the whole your country is behind yours, and they're rooting for theirs, and it is great. It is. It's a kind of a pure noble sport. And we have these young men here tonight giving their best, giving 100%, both East Brunswick and Sayreville, and they want to win bad. They want to win for their school. Rich now trying to work an escape, but in trouble here now. Sayreville put on a cradle, and the buzzer rings to end that period there. Sayreville coming away with 2 points for near fall. And they've got a 7-1 lead now for Sayreville. Okay, and we're going to start now the second period. East Brunswick decides to take the neutral position. That means they'll both start standing, and each wrestler will attempt a takedown. I want you to look here, Gordy, as they're trying to work technique in here. It's not just brute force. Each wrestler trying to set up the other. They drop to their knees, they come to their feet. They try to get in close, take their shots. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot of offense and there's a lot of defense, which most people can't really appreciate. So I recommend everybody attend a wrestling clinic sometime soon and learn some of these moves.
Is there a certain style that East Brunswick has developed over the years? When you talk about Central Jersey wrestling and you look at East Brunswick, is there one thing from year to year you can say that East Brunswick has a particular style?
This is true of many schools, but I think East Brunswick pretty much tailors it to the individual wrestler. So you're going to get some wrestlers who use their legs a lot, other wrestlers with their upper body strength will do a lot of power moves. And I think that's probably best. You know, you can't fit every wrestler into a certain type of style of wrestling. And I think Coach Pazinko and his assistants, John Mooney and Larry Moliere, I think they try to accommodate the different physical types and strengths and weaknesses of the wrestlers. So you're not going to look at East Brunswick and say, hey, they do cradles all the time, or look out for the single leg. They mix it up. And that's the way it should probably be. Now you see Sayreville here is trying to work a pinning combination, trying to control the hands. East Brunswick trying to get out. We've got an opportunity here, but let's see what happens. Now once again, Sayreville going for that cradle, which East Brunswick better stay away from now. He's got to keep his head up. And once again, we have a 6-0 lead here, team score-wise for East Brunswick. But in this bout, at 119 pounds, 9-1 lead for Sayreville.
Tom Martinez using that extra year of experience, he being the junior. Rich Klein just a sophomore, as you mentioned before. Safe to say Martinez the aggressor in this bout.
Now, Rich does come in with some credentials. He did take third in the districts at 103 pounds last year as a freshman. He's a smart wrestler, and he's only going to get a little better with each varsity bout. And by the way, Tom Martinez is no slouch. He comes in with a 7-1 record right now. So record-wise and experience-wise, we see Sayreville with a big edge. And in terms of the bout score, same thing, 9-1 in favor of Sayreville.
And both coaches certainly glad to have both of these wrestlers back next year. Sayreville coming in at 5-2 and looks strong. East Brunswick 1-4, struggling a little bit, but
young team.
Young and certainly with a good head coach.
Coach Bazenko, of course, wrestling here in East Brunswick years ago, and made it to the States undefeated into the finals of the States, where he lost his only bout of this season. So he certainly does have a lot of experience at the scholastic level. Continued his wrestling in college for 4 years and did very well. So he's been where a lot of these wrestlers want to go someday.
I've always felt too, and it's fairly obvious that wrestlers probably use more of their overall body muscle than any other athlete. I always maintain that wrestlers and swimmers probably use more muscles than any other athlete.
Yeah, that's true, Gordy. And if you've ever wrestled for like a minute and haven't done it a lot, you just want to die. I mean, you are using every muscle in your body, like in swimming, and it's tough. I'm the director of the Old Bridge Wrestling Festival, which we hold in each July, and we have a masters division in which anybody 30 years over can compete. Well, we have people coming out, they don't think there's much to wrestling, and within 20 seconds, they're exhausted. They're calling for oxygen breaks so they can just breathe for a little bit. But it's tough. Conditioning is a very big factor. And when you think that these kids do it for 6 straight minutes, you have to be in good shape. They have to run. They've got to run every day to maintain the kind of stamina that they need to get through these 6 minutes. In fact, we have many wrestlers, they go out for cross country just to get that stamina shape for the season.
Yeah, I think it's one of those sports where the athlete is really underestimated. You know, you always think about football too, and how they always say that the game is won in the trenches, and football is one of those sports where the offensive linemen really don't get any credit, and they're the ones, obviously they don't use as much of their body as wrestlers do, but they use the arms probably almost as much, especially the guys who hold a lot up there on the offensive line, but that's also very punishing, which really goes unnoticed.
And we've got 30 seconds to go into the third period. Sayreville with a 10-1 lead. Both wrestlers now can't take a break. East Brunswick would love to score some points here. We have a 9-point difference between these two wrestlers, and that's crucial. East Brunswick wants to cut that down to less than 8, so they don't give up 14 points versus 3. So it's the kind of thing where East Brunswick here is losing by 9 points, wants to keep going, try to score a few more points and cut down any advantage that Sayreville has.
In the final 19 seconds, you trail 10-1. What can your strategy be when you're in the hole by 9 points?
Well, if you're looking for the win, you'd want to try some sort of upper body throw to possibly pin the wrestler. But I think East Brunswick here would probably be content with a takedown. And we've got 6 seconds to do that, 4 seconds. And it looks like now referee indicating stalling. We've got 1 second to go in this third bout of the evening, with East Brunswick now losing this match 10-1. But a hard-fought bout here by both wrestlers, and certainly Rich Klein has something to look forward to in the rest of his years. Okay, this is going to bring us up to 125 pounds now, and we've got our fourth bout of the evening. And East Brunswick now with a 6-4 team lead. This could be about where they had expected to be. But again, Sayreville's strength is in the upper weight, so we need a little bit more of a lead. Okay, and at 125 pounds for East Brunswick, we have junior Andy Meistrick versus a senior from Sayreville, Chris Metz. Both wrestlers now working hard for that takedown. And our fourth bout of the evening at 125 pounds. Andy is bringing an 8-2-1 record. Only a junior. He's only a second-year wrestler, and that's kind of hard to believe, Gordy, that a kid can look this good early in a bout with just being in his second year of wrestling. He's a hard worker. Coach Bazinko finds him a pleasure to coach, and his potential is unlimited. He was the Hamilton East champion over Christmas break and is doing an outstanding job. Second-year wrestler.
If you're a second-year wrestler, as young as Andy is, what kinds of things do you need as a foundation to become a great potential wrestler? Does this all start with balance?
It's going to begin really like in any other sport, the basics. You've got to have good stance, good motion, good position on bottom, work hand control, because like in any other sport, if you goof up in the basics, you've got a problem. And that's what I tell the wrestlers. You know, when you lose a bout, chances are it was your fault, not your opponent's fault. You made a mistake, you didn't perfect the move, and basics is extremely important. And we see Andy here trying to work a front headlock, but Sayreville is holding on, hoping that he doesn't secure that. East Brunswick's probably going to try to spin around here in a minute, but the referee calls a stalemate, and he starts them both up on their feet again with 16 seconds to go in the first period. Nice shot by East Brunswick. Look at that, and I think Coach Bazinko called that one. He told Andy to head in for that, and a quick 2 points with just 5 seconds to go. That's the thing we needed. Back to your question too now. Good basics, but I'll give you something. The most important thing in wrestling, it's not strength, it's not conditioning, it's not balance, it's not smarts, it's not IQ, it's none of those things. You only need one thing to be a good wrestler, and this is one reason I love the sport, and that's dedication. I've had some weak, skinny kids win state championships. I've had wrestlers who couldn't remember referee's position who would win state championships, and it came back to the fact that they were dedicated, they did the running, they did the weightlifting, they wrestled in the out of season, and you get a good dedicated wrestler, and he's going to be good. He's going to win matches for you. This is the thing, you know, some other sports, you've got to be big to play, or you got to be tall, or you got to be fast. And that's not true of wrestling. Anybody can wrestle. And if they're dedicated, they can still be a champion.
Why is it that wrestling doesn't get the coverage that football does, that basketball does? Why is it sort of in the background of the media spotlight?
I think one of the problems is people don't quite understand it. You know, there's points for this and points for that, and the team score is kind of complicated. So I think that's one thing that's got to do with it. I think it's an exciting sport. I attend as many as I can, and I love it. It's great. It is a good sport, and people should come out and root their teams on. Nice combination of moves there by both wrestlers, but East Brunswick maintaining control. We've got about a minute to go in the second period with East Brunswick and with a 2-0 lead. Now we're giving 1 point here to Sayreville. East Brunswick coach is protesting that. And referee talking to the East Brunswick wrestler to ensure that doesn't happen again. So we've got about 49 seconds to go in the second period. 2-1 lead now for Andy Meistrick.
You know, in many other sports too, you don't often see a referee drop down to one knee, put his arm around the wrestler he's penalizing, and explained what went on. Is that something you see a lot in wrestling?
It's something we like to see in wrestling. We don't always, but we like to see it. East Brunswick now coming up with a 2-point takedown. He's in position for a near fall, but Sayreville with a quick reversal. 2 points for Sayreville, who's pushing hard to get East Brunswick to his back. East Brunswick with an escape. We got a lot of action here, ladies and gentlemen, and shooting in for a takedown, but he's got to pull his Sayreville opponent inside. Sayreville looking to get out. No points yet, and referee says out of bounds. Both wrestlers in neutral position here. And we've got an exciting 5-4 match here with East Brunswick, that slim 1-point lead. And it looks like we've got a little nosebleed on Sayreville's part, so East Brunswick gets a little breather here also. We got some good wrestling going on here, folks. This is great, a lot of action.
Is it generally the younger weights where you find, or I should say the lower weights where you find all the action? We watch Andy Meistrick from East Brunswick, the junior, at 125 pounds, taking on Chris Metz, the Sayreville senior. And it's just an action-packed second period, still with 7 seconds to go. You don't know what can happen, but it seems like the lighter guys, you can always look and find more action. Is that the case?
Hey, it generally is, but it's not certainly the rule. You're going to find a lot of exciting bouts in the upper weights. We alluded to that when Coach Pazinko wrestled in this gym here. So it's generally the rule. They're a little bit quicker, but you're going to see some exciting bouts here tonight. East Brunswick coming in now with probably their strength in the lower weights. Sayreville certainly their strength in the upper weights, and let's see how the fur is going to fly here tonight. We've got East Brunswick with a slim 6-4 lead team-wise, and a 5-4 lead with this bout at 125 pounds. By the way, you do bring up one of the other things that I really love about our sport. Wrestlers going out of bounds there. This has to do with the weight classes. This is wrestling's both its biggest strength and I might add biggest weakness. But you can weigh 100 pounds and be a champion, and so can a kid weigh 250 pounds. So it gives kids of all sizes and weights. We have a 1-point escape there. East Brunswick shooting in right away. It's 2 points takedown, a quick 3 points there. We're looking at an 8-4 lead right now. East Brunswick having this ability to escape and look right away for the takedown rather than taking that little mental breather of, wow, I got a point, I'm doing good. And that's something which you try to coach your kids, and obviously Coach Pazinko and his staff is doing a great job of that. You escape and you immediately look for that takedown.
Even more of credit to Andy Meistrick, only his second year of wrestling, and he's taking it to the Sayreville senior.
Okay. He's doing a lot of good things out here, Gordy. He's looking great. He's got that takedown looking good there. He's got to finish it, though. You won't get that 2 points till you bring your wrestler down to the mat. And Sayreville's got that overhook there. But we're going to get 2 points for that as the referee indicates it, and they're out of bounds. We've got about a minute to go in the third and final period here, of course, Gordy. 3 periods in every match, unless, of course, one of the wrestlers pins the other, and that's the equivalent of a knockout in boxing. The bout would end, and we haven't seen one of those yet. East Brunswick, interesting strategy, letting Sayreville get an escape, getting a 1 point for it, but saying, hey, that's okay because I'm going to take you down. Back in my day, that was a no-no. You never did that. But look at this takedown here. What a nice double leg. Strategy certainly paying off for East Brunswick, getting 2 points. For that takedown, we have a 12-6 match here with Andy Meistrick looking good here. Coach Pazinko now advising his wrestler, get 2 more points because then we'll get that major decision, and of course that would mean a difference of 8 or more points. And more importantly, your team is going to get 4 decision points rather than 3. We're looking here at perhaps a little bloody nose here. Referee Bill Lanny making sure that you don't give any instructions to your boy. When he's injured, you can't instruct him, can't give any advice. And we've got 40 seconds to go in this third and final period. And here's the strategy again. Give him 1 escape because I'm going to get 2 points takedown. And we're about to get that too. Sayreville's got a headlock though, which could be dangerous, but no. East Brunswick gets the 2 points there for a takedown again. But we need another point. He's going to let him go. 19 seconds to go. That's 1 point there. We need that takedown for the major decision. 13 seconds to go in the bout. Now we'll get an interesting situation here. Score 14-8. That's how much of a difference, Gordy? 6 point difference, okay?
You're testing my math?
I am, but we need 2. We need a quick 2. 2 seconds to go. We get it at the buzzer. At the buzzer there. That was great. Good strategy by Andy Meistrick, Jr. from East Brunswick. Final score 16-8. And we're going to look at 4 team points for East Brunswick as a result of that. Some great, exciting wrestling there, Gordy.
You've got to be impressed with Andy Meistrick. You mentioned right at the top before the bout, only 2 years in wrestling. Comes out and takes it right to a Sayreville kid who was a year his senior.
And he did a lot of good things there, Gordy. I got to tell you, he didn't stop. I mean, so many wrestlers will wrestle and stop, wrestle and stop. Constant motion, constant action, and he was smart. He knew he was good on takedowns, let his opponent go deliberately, even though he gave up a point, and then took him down. 130-pound bout now. We have Anthony Tsai, senior, wrestling Mayor Patel, also a senior from Sayreville.
This is the first 2 seniors we've had match up this evening.
Wrestling head-to-head, that's correct. We have an interesting story here, though, with Anthony, though. He's only a second-year wrestler, again, but he has worked very hard to break into the lineup, and he's been struggling, but he's maintained a good attitude, and let's see if he can come through with some points tonight.
Is it a conspiracy between Anthony Tsai and Andy Meistrick to join 2 years ago together?
Could be. They're both doing very, very well, though. I think it might be good coaching and on the coach's part, but also determination on their part.
You know, we speculated a little bit about Meistrick's bleeding in the last bout, and I think that brings up an interesting point. You know, you see the boxers nowadays, because of the AIDS scare, wearing the rubber gloves. Is that something that's a concern in wrestling with the close contact these players have? Is it an issue that the sport needs to address?
Yeah, this is true. these officials have been well versed on how to deal with that. That is a concern, and they've been trained to handle it. Now, we just secured 2 points here for takedown, so Anthony's doing a good job here. 30 seconds to go in the first period with a nice 2-point lead, but you don't sit on that. You got to work and work to constantly improve your position and your score. And we've got referee indicating a stalemate situation in which he believes neither wrestler could improve their position. So, hey, we stopped the match, and we'll pick up where we left off. Let's see now. Coach Pazenko signaled that Anthony should go for a far ankle and stop any first move of his Sayreville opponent. Let's see if Anthony takes that advice. We've got a caution here for poor position. The referee explaining to Anthony why he got that caution, and hopefully we won't see that being repeated. And Anthony didn't go for that ankle. I don't know if it led to this 1-point Sayreville escape, but here we are now with a 2-1 match going into the second period. East Brunswick with Anthony Sy having that slim 1-point lead. And East Brunswick now in the bottom position will try to escape, much to the chagrin of his Sayreville opponent, who will try to break East Brunswick down and secure some back points. Good escape there by East Brunswick. Gives them another point. In this, the 5th match of a 13 match schedule here for this dual meet of the Sayreville Bombers versus East Brunswick Bears.
I thought it was interesting you said before that Sayreville will likely have the advantage in the upper weights. I think that's another interesting thing about wrestling is that you can look at your scorecard and say, should win this one, should win this one, shouldn't win this one. It's almost like tennis when you have these dual meets. You can almost predict, or in swimming, you know, you can look ahead and see how you may fare. I always thought it was an interesting point about wrestling.
I never did that as a coach. When I sent the kid out on the mat, I firmly believe that no matter who he was going against, he had a chance to beat that kid, even if he was going against a state champ and he never wrestled before. But a lot of coaches spend a lot of time doing that, and they, look at the possibilities and so on and so forth. But every kid's got a chance, and I've seen state champs get beat by first-year wrestlers.
I think that's a great thing about sports, is that
right.
You just never know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis.
And especially high school sports. Each kid's going to try his best. There are breaks, both good and bad, in the game, and anything can happen. Anything can happen. But one of the things you try to train your wrestlers to do is to get prepared and get psyched up for that match in which you're supposed to lose. It's called the upset. And that, to me, is the greatest victory of all. When you beat a kid who the paper said and your friends said and everybody said he was going to beat you. But you've got to prepare your kids for that. That takes some preparation, and they got to look at it as an opportunity. Tough competition shouldn't be feared. It should be welcomed, because that's when you get to show what you've got. East Brunswick traditionally has had a tough schedule. Over the Christmas break, they came out of the top of the East Wrestling Tournament held at South Brunswick. Very competitive event, and they did quite well. That's how you get to be good. Tough competition. We've got just a few seconds to go in this 130-pound weight class. East Brunswick with a 3-1 lead. going into the third and final period, Brady.
What kind of things have you seen from Anthony Sy that have looked good so far that he should look to continue in the third period?
The one thing, and it seems to be a characteristic of East Brunswick, is that ability to keep the pressure on, not to let up, but to keep wrestling. And this gets to be even more important in the third period, where your opponent may be a little weary. That could present a lot of opportunity for you to score some points. So let's see now. We got Anthony in the top or offensive position. Sayreville trying a switch, but getting blocked. And coming back with a switch again. I think Anthony's got to work a little bit on his breakdown, but we've got an equipment problem with Sayreville here. The headgear slipped, and we'll have to adjust that. By the way, back in my day, Gordy, we didn't have headgear.
You wrestled like true men, Greg?
Oh, God, we used to wrestle in arenas and everything, and with the ropes. No, just kidding, but we used to have cauliflower ear. That was a big problem back in those days, but with these lightweight protective headgear, it's really cut down on that.
Are you suggesting that wrestlers these days, Greg, are wimps?
Well,
they just don't make them like they used to.
Well, that's true, Gordy. I'll show you my cauliflower ear later, but this, I prefer to think of it as it lets them put more into their wrestling and less into their physical appearance.
What about a situation like this where you have Anthony Sy, who gives up some inches because he's shorter than his opponent, Mayur Patel? Here you have Sy, who's stockier and shorter, but Patel taller, thinner. Is there a strategy you have coming into a bout like this?
This can present problems for both wrestlers. You'll find that some grapplers can't wrestle a tall, lanky kid, or have troubles with a short, stocky kid, and that's where they've got to make adjustments right out on that mat. You know, you've got to learn in a hurry to adjust to this kid's style. And what it is, if a move doesn't work, then you try something else. Now, Anthony here has had trouble. He hasn't controlled the breakdown. He's been letting Sayreville do switches, but now you saw he just adjusted. He went for a far ankle, stopped Sayreville's first move, and Sayreville's in trouble as a result of that. So that was a good technique on Anthony's part. That was the good news. The bad news is you can't stay on that ankle. You've got to work to turn your opponent over, and the referee, Bill Lanny, stopping the match and saying, East Brunswick, it's not enough to ride your opponent or break him down. You got to try to turn this guy over.
Just under a minute to go here in the third period. Anthony Sy continues to lead Mayur Patel 3-1. East Brunswick leads overall 10-4.
And third period action. We have Sayreville down. Let's see if Anthony can go for that far ankle to stop Sayreville's first match, but then go on the offense and look to turn his opponent over. Sayreville getting that switch here. Didn't get points yet. East Brunswick with a slim two-point lead. And neither wrestler with an advantage here, but Sayreville slowly gaining a little better position. 1 point now for Sayreville. We've got a 3-2 lead for East Brunswick with about 20 seconds left in the match. Gordy, we got another exciting bout here.
Super intense right to the end. Just 1 point separating them with 23 seconds left. I guess we can expect some action to wrap up this one.
Here's the deal, Gordy. If Sayreville gets a takedown, that'll be 2 points. Sayreville wins by a point. But East Brunswick's been warned for stalling. If he stalls, he's going to lose it. Now Sayreville's got the 1 point. He's got a 1 point lead, but there is 15 seconds left to go, 12 seconds left. East Brunswick working hard. Sayreville's got the slim 1 point lead, and the referee stops the bout. He puts the hand behind the head indicating potentially dangerous. The Sayreville fans very happy about this. 7 seconds left. East Brunswick, if they can escape or reverse within the next 7 seconds, that's what we got to do, Gordy.
All right, Patel leads Cy 4-3, 7 seconds to go, third period. East Brunswick on top of the overall competition, 10-4. Patel has the offensive position.
We've got 5 seconds. Sayreville holding on to that ankle. 2 seconds. That is the closest of calls, ladies and gentlemen. Another half a second, he would have gotten that escape. The Sayreville opponent there, very much excited about his slim victory. East Brunswick didn't lose it, Gordy. We just ran out of time with that one. Another half a second.
This Sayreville must view this as a critical match.
Every match, Gordy. Every match is going to be a tough one. East Brunswick with a slim 10-7 lead. And the referee made a good call. Some East Brunswick fans may protest, but the referee made that call. By the way, Gordy, that's one thing I like to stress. When a wrestler walks out on that mat, guess how, this is another quiz, Gordy. Guess how many people he's got to beat?
3.
Ooh, Gordy. Okay, let's name him. Most obvious first.
His opponent?
Good. Got to beat his opponent. Second.
Got to beat the referee?
Got to beat the referee. You can be the world's toughest wrestler, but referees do make bad calls, but you just got to be good enough where it's not going to make a difference. Okay, Gordy. Third person.
He's got to beat his own inefficiencies, I guess.
Oh, not bad, but normally I'll go with the opposing coach, who may have scouted you and found some weaknesses in your style, and as a result, is going to beat you. But I like that other one. You got to beat your inner self sometimes.
I like that one, huh?
Who do we got here, Gordy?
Well, this is match the 135-pound class. Mike Capodanno, the junior from East Brunswick, against the sophomore Craig Nallett from Sayreville. 10-7 East Brunswick. 10-6 overall, East Brunswick leading.
Hey, and we've got Mike Capodanno here. Interestingly enough, he's moved up a weight class. He's normally a 130-pounder, but to lend some balance, the East Brunswick lineup has opted to move up a weight. Could be a coaching strategy here. Mike coming in with a fine 10-2 record.
How does his mental preparation change for a bout like this when he moves up 5 pounds in a weight class? Does his strategy change at all?
It could for some wrestlers, but the better ones, and certainly Mike is one of the more talented wrestlers on the team, it really won't change that much. He's going to wrestle his style because that's his strength, and he's not going to change because of a measly 5-pound difference. He's shown great improvement every year. He's a 3-year starter, just secured 2 points. He was a champion this year for the Hamilton East tournament. He was a runner-up at the competitive top of the East, and he should be one of the better wrestlers in the Greater Middlesex County Conference tournament, which will be coming up. 10-2 record already. He's looking good. And only a junior.
Period number 1 comes to an end. Mike Capodanno, the East Brunswick junior, leading Craig Nallett of Sayreville 2-0.
Getting back to that other thing, I've seen a ref make a bad call and a kid lose the match, and the kid blames the ref. When you do that, or even when the fans do that, you just get good at making excuses. You don't get to be a better wrestler. You put the blame on yourself and say, gee, if I had been in better shape or my moves had been better, I'm going to work on that. You get to be a better wrestler. And I think many of East Brunswick grapplers here tonight realize that. If you lose, put the onus on yourself and do something about it. Don't cry, don't make excuses. East Brunswick in the down or defensive position in the second period. Right now, Sayreville's controlling him, but Sayreville isn't doing much in the way of trying to turn his opponent. He was warned earlier for stalling. That's Sayreville. He's got to work a little harder. On the other hand, Mark's got to get a good base. He's kind of flat right now. He's got to get up to his base, try to secure some escapes or reversals.
Mike Capodanno continues to lead 2-0. A minute left to go, second period. East Brunswick leading overall 10-6 against Sayreville here at East Brunswick High School.
Now we see an interesting situation. Both wrestlers are warned here for stalling. The top opponent for not trying to turn his opponent over, and East Brunswick for not trying to escape or reverse. Now, the referee is going to the table to see if there was a previous stall call, because if there is, you only get warned once, and then the second time it's going to be a point. And that's the case here. East Brunswick now getting 1 point for their for stalling by Sayreville's part, but East Brunswick's been warned, so we got to see some action here with 45 seconds to go in the second period. East Brunswick up on their feet now, working to break the hands free, and notice, Gordy, there, East Brunswick trying to put two hands against one of Sayreville's. That's how you'll escape from your opponent. If you try to do a one-on-one situation, usually the man on top has an advantage. But if you can isolate, look at that cut. Oh, that was nice technique. And coming right back for a takedown here, puts his opponent to the back, and he's hungry for a pin. East Brunswick's got to get some big points here, and he certainly is working hard for that.
Capodanno on top of 5-0 now over Craig Mallett. He has initiated the action here in the closing seconds of the second period. Just 10 seconds left.
Getting back points now. You see the referee counting. 4 seconds left. That was some nice technique on Mike's part. Really good. By the way, I got to tell you, one of the problems of being a coach in the winter season is the flu. Many of these wrestlers, and we don't know who they are either coming off the flu or perhaps getting it. And you may see a wrestler who's out of shape and say, gee, why doesn't he run? When truth, fact is, the kid's been sick for a couple days. And I think we may have that here with Mike. I've seen him wrestle before, and usually he's a machine who won't stop, but he does look a little weary here tonight. Giving up that escape now to Sayreville, because he feels that he can take his opponent down. And let's see if that strategy works. That strategy is no good if he takes you down, because now you've given up 3 points. So let's see, we're in the third period here. We got a nice 8-1 lead for East Brunswick, but we need more. Working an underhook here. East Brunswick, let's see if he can use it. Sayreville dropping to the knee in a defensive move. Look at this now. Sayreville getting warned again, this time for backing up. That's another point for East Brunswick. We've got about 1:20 to go in this bout. Mike Capodanno's got to keep the pressure up. Can't sit on the lead. Constantly move, constantly work to improve his position.
Capodanno really looks like he's in control of this bout. He sort of has an air about him.
Looks like he's getting his second win while Sayreville is fading. But he's got to work for that fall, and he's got a little under a minute to secure it. He's got a 9-point lead. We need more.
Capodanno looking to go 11-2 on the season. Wrestling up 5 pounds.
That's right. And You're good wrestlers, it won't phase them. You wrestle them up, and they'll do just as well. We used to do that with Coach Pazenko all the time. We'd move him up hoping he'd lose a match, but he didn't. He showed us every time, sure, move me up, I'll win anyway. And with him it was different. It was a 189 to heavyweight, so a lot of times when he moved up, it was like a 20-pound difference or more. It's good coaching.
Less than 30 seconds to go, third period. Mike Capodanno, the junior from East Brunswick, and Craig Nallett, the Sayreville sophomore. Right now, Capodanno easily in control at 10-1 in the sixth bout of this dual meet.
Now this time we have a warning on East Brunswick. This will be a point. Score now is 10-2 with just 11 seconds to go. Some people protesting that call, but hey, it's a call. You got to live with it, good or bad. Let's do something about it.
And that's the end of this bout. Mike Capodanno, East Brunswick Jr., wins the 135 by beating Sayreville sophomore Craig Nallett by the score of 10-2. East Brunswick now with a 14-6 overall lead. Big 4 points for East Brunswick.
And looks like Sayreville making some changes here in their lineup, perhaps. Bringing us into the 140-pound weight class. Gordy?
Scheduled for East Brunswick, junior 140-pounder Doug Mikulin. And for Sayreville, John Denudo, who's only a sophomore. As you said, there may be a lineup change here.
East Brunswick wrestler getting some tips from Coach Pazenko, telling him to get his hands inside on a tie-up. Wishing him luck, and it's showtime. Both wrestlers approach the center, give that handshake, which is traditional for the start of each match, and as well as the close of the match. Both teams now approaching the midpoint in their season with a lot of dual meets left, but also some big tournaments, such as the GMC tournament this year, followed by the team sectionals, followed by the districts, followed by the states, which this year will be held in Atlantic City, which is a big change from the traditional Jadwin Gym in Princeton University.
This is the third match in a row now that we've seen East Brunswick as the shorter, stockier wrestler and Sayreville as the taller, thinner grappler.
And let's hope our trend here continues, right, as we've won those bouts. Hey, and at 140 pounds here.
Just the second bout of the season for Doug Mikulin.
He's young, he's only a junior, but experience-wise, he's been hampered by injury and illness earlier in the year, but it's coming on of late. His 1-0 record was a pin against Woodbridge, a much improved team over the last couple of years. So let's see how Doug can handle it here tonight. His opponent here, John Denudo from Sayreville, brings in a 5-3 record. So certainly record-wise, Sayreville with a lead. But let's see if we can negate that with some good wrestling. We've got 25 seconds to go in this first period here. And Doug looking for a tie-up here that he might successfully use. Controlling an elbow. Taking a good shot. Got to give a little more rip with that elbow there to get some penetration now. Working a Russian tie-up here. Sayreville countering by grabbing his wrist. And we've got a scoreless first period, Gordy.
We head into period number 2. Doug Mikulin against John Denudo. 14-6, East Brunswick with the overall lead.
I'd like to mention, too, that this is the third dual meet of the evening. Quite a bit earlier, Churchill suffered a close 36-45 loss to Sayreville. But the East Brunswick Bears bouncing back in the JV meet, coming up with a 50-6 victory in that competition. East Brunswick with a 1-point escape now. We've got a close 1-0 match here. In this competition. You'll see, Gordy, interest in wrestling is going to pick up when the Olympics come about and we start to get good exposure for a change.
But it doesn't last, though. That's the only
You media
problem.
people got to do a better job here, Gordy.
But the problem is it doesn't last, right? There's always,
You're right.
always hype around the hockey team as well.
There's a little carryover, and it certainly does increase interest in all sports in an Olympic year. But we do have an exciting sport here, and I want to encourage all those viewers out there to give it a try. Go to your local team, support them, win, lose, or draw. East Brunswick, by the way, has been known to have some very faithful and fans who have supported East Brunswick through the decades. They've been wonderful, East Brunswick fans. Thick and thin, they've been there to support the wrestlers. They don't boo, they cheer. And I think that's great. This is a scholastic sport. There's no need for the negative. There's plenty of positive things we can say and do. East Brunswick's got to get a little more motion here now, to be a little more assertive. Shoots in on a single leg, but Sayreville effectively blocks that and now is looking to score some points on his own. East Brunswick working to a little better base, trying to turn the corner, but Sayreville having none of that with just 20 seconds to go in this second period. Good move by Sayreville there. Gets the 2 points takedown, 10 seconds to go.
And the end of period number 2 between Doug Mikulin and John Denudo of Sayreville. Denudo picks up 2 points in the period. He wins period number 2. Mikulin won period number 1, but it's 2-1. John Denudo, the Sayreville sophomore, heading into the third period. East Brunswick still maintains the overall lead, 14-6. Mikulin, as we said before, 1-0. His one victory coming against Woodbridge by pin. Denudo comes in at 5-3, so Denudo 5 times as many victories as Mikulin, but Mikulin with a better winning percentage, in fact a perfect winning percentage, and is undefeated. How much does it help Denudo having wrestled 8 times already this year compared to just once for Mikulin?
Quite a bit. You, like most other sports, you've got to get time on the mat or on the court or on the playing field. And if you want to fine-tune your skills, you've got to get that mat time, which is one reason we encourage wrestlers to participate in the out-of-season, particularly in the summer months. We've got a call there for stalling, warning for stalling. Fans don't like it, but it's a judgment call by the referee, so let's live with it and get on with the show here. Sayreville in the defensive or bottom position with a 2-1 lead. Doug working now to get that far ankle, breaking his opponent down. Looking to get in a half Nelson, which he couldn't do. Sayreville comes to his feet with a stand-up, controls the hands and escapes. East Brunswick now down by 2 points in the 140-pound weight class with a minute to go.
3-1, John Denuno leads Doug Mikulin. This is bout number 7. You're watching the 140-pound class. 55 seconds left to go here in the third period.
Third and final period. Referee warning both wrestlers, don't leave this circle. You back up, you're going to lose some points. So let's see what happens now. If you back up, that's called stalling. And you're going to pay the piper on that one. Sayreville looking to get that takedown, very close, gets the 2 points right at the edge with 35 seconds to go.
Be a tough mountain for Mikulin to climb now. He's down 5-1.
Well, we've got a 4-point difference, 25 seconds to go, but it can be done. Quick reversal. Put your opponent to your back. One of the other victories that I always like to see is the come from behind victory, where you could be losing by 10 points or 11 points and then perhaps pin your opponent, and it can happen. Looking for a quick reversal there, but Sayreville countering very well. East Brunswick trying to work some moves here, getting some hand control. Sayreville looking for a cradle. East Brunswick's got to break that now. Sayreville does have that cradle. This is a good pinning combination, but the bout ends here. A 140-pound bout with a 5-1 victory for Sayreville. And we've got a close team score here throughout the whole evening, Gordy.
It's been a tight one all the way, Greg. That one goes to John Denuno by the score of 5-1. And it's now 14-9. East Brunswick still with the lead. Sayreville picks up the 3 points. And in the 145-pound class, it'll be the freshman for East Brunswick, Sean Daly, against Sayreville's junior, Yannick Lahaye.
Once again, we've got a big difference in the age of these wrestlers. But Sean comes in here as a freshman. He's got a 4-8 record. He's got 12 varsity bouts. He's had a tough time in being overpowered, but this kid doesn't quit. I've seen this kid wrestle. He doesn't quit.
Looks like, take a look at his body. It looks like he's still got a lot of growing to do yet, too. It looks like he's got a lot of unlimited potential into growing.
He does. He'll be up 2 weight classes next year. He put some meat on those bones. He's been known to have good endurance. He'll come on strong in the third period. And this kid don't quit. Look at this. Constant wrestling, constant motion here. He placed second in the Top of the East tournament. Made the semifinals. Excuse me, placed second in the Hamilton East, and went to the semifinals of the Top of the East. He's not in trouble yet, but he is now. Okay, he should have probably stuck with that a little bit longer. Try to hold that position. Gave up 2 points there on a takedown. Should be looking here to get to his base, control some hands. Sayreville looking to put a leg in. We haven't seen too much of that tonight, leg wrestling. Sayreville getting up a little bit too high, but working a cradle. East Brunswick in trouble here, Gordy. Getting some back points now. And this sounds like these Sayreville fans are hungry for some team points.
Lahaye picks up 3 points and now leads 5-0 as the first period comes to a close between Yannick Lahai, the Sayreville junior, and East Brunswick freshman Sean Daly in the 145-pound class. Daly, just a freshman, down 5 points as we begin period number 2. But Daly, you can see, is all heart, no quit.
Hey, you may have noticed, Gordy, sometimes a wrestler will get 2 points for almost pinning an opponent, sometimes 3. The difference is if you can hold him at a 45-degree angle or less. See, we do math too in wrestling. For more than 5 seconds, then you'll get the 5 points. But if you don't, and you momentarily hold him there for less than 5, then you get the 2 points. We see a nice style here of Sean Daly. He's using his legs as well as his arms. We call this leg wrestling. But it's like handling dynamite, Gordy. You gotta do it right. If you do it right and you do those legs properly, you can move mountains. You can beat wrestlers better than you. But if you make an error, it's gonna blow up in your face and you're gonna give up a lot of points. So you've gotta be a perfectionist when it comes to leg wrestling. And you see how quickly Sean throws those legs in. By the way, his coach, Glenn Pazinko, is one of the best leg wrestlers around, and let's see if he's picked up some points right now, working to turn a stronger Sayreville opponent to his back. Close to getting it, but not quite. You see Sayreville here a little bit stockier, a little bit stronger, but Sean using those legs effectively. But the big thing, can he score points? And he's very close to doing that now. Referee indicating it's not at that 45-degree angle yet. We could get a protractor out, but now he's starting to count. And if he counts 5, now East Brunswick's in trouble here. And there goes that dynamite I told you about. However, East Brunswick coming away with 2 points for the near fall, but Sayreville countering with 2 points for a reversal.
So Lahai there too, get rid of his headgear.
But it is mandatory. You gotta have that headgear on. They won't let you wrestle otherwise.
So Daly picked up 2 points in the exchange, but so did Lahai. So it's 7-2.
It was a wash. Yeah.
The Sayreville junior on top of the East Brunswick freshman. Daly takes the defensive position. 40 seconds left to go. Period number 2. Lahai leads Daly 7-2. East Brunswick with the overall lead 14-9. The 145-pound class, bout number 8.
East Brunswick in good position here, getting the 2-point reversal. Nice movement on Daly's part. Hit a nice stand-up, worked the reversal, and we're right here. This kid doesn't quit. He wrestles with a lot of heart, but he's got to overcome 3-point difference now.
Daly picked up 2 points at 7-4. Lahai of Sayreville still on top. Daly's a lot of fun to watch. You gotta say that much.
He is, but he's looking to get that leg in, but Sayreville's got some other ideas about it. He's controlling that leg. Sean's in big trouble here. Probably should be looking for a half Nelson. Got to get his hips up or else he's in trouble. Just counted nicely, counted back points, but didn't have him down long enough. Very, very close call. And now we're getting into the third and final period here.
7-4. Yannick Lahai continues to lead Sean Daly. The Sayreville junior against the East Brunswick freshman. Final 2 minutes.
East Brunswick now selecting the defensive or bottom position, which is a good move. Last time he escaped and reversed, and let's see if we can do that now. Now Sean before tried to stand up. That was his move. Sayreville knows it. He'll try to counter it. Sean got up to his feet a little bit, but then was brought down to the mat almost immediately. Got to work some hand control here on bottom. Constant motion though on both wrestlers. let's see. Sean's got a way of coming out of this, but the referee stopping the bout again because of a potentially dangerous hold. Not even that it was dangerous, but it had that potential.
Looked like Daly's arm was going to break at any moment there.
Not even close, Gordy. It was 45-degree angle, and that's it. They stopped the match.
Hackerman hurt me just from watching it.
Hey, this is a tough sport, Gordy. This is not for wimps, this sport, I told you.
Arms aren't supposed to bend that way.
And look at this action here, folks. 1 point for an escape for Sean Daly. Great wrestling action. Going to work now to take his opponent down, and that would tie it up if East Brunswick can secure a takedown. Taking that quick shot, which has worked before, but Sayreville blocking it defensively. We've got a lot of time there. There's going to be points scored one way or another. East Brunswick trying to throw a move in which you need a little bit of more strength to work. Very close to getting it, but the referee indicating out of bounds, neither wrestler getting points.
So it remains 7-5. Sean Daly, the freshman, waging war. Furious attempt to come back in this. Trails by 2, 1:15 to go, third period. East Brunswick still with the overall lead, 14-9.
Both wrestlers in the center now. We've got 1 minute and 14 seconds, and Sean looking for that 2-point takedown, but East Brunswick's not, Sayreville's not going to lay down here. He's going to block it like he's trying to do. Sean getting stretched out. Got to get to a base. And we lost that takedown now. That's 2 points for Sayreville there for that takedown. Headgear getting unadjusted. And possible boo-boo nosebleed here.
Boo-boo nosebleed. Is that, do you classify nosebleeds?
That's a medical term, Gordy.
A type of nosebleed, a boo-boo nosebleed.
Strictly a medical term, and we have a student trainer attending to that. One of several student trainers, I believe, under the tutelage of Phil Hostler, who is the head trainer here at East Brunswick, and a very, very valuable and important asset to any athletic program as a qualified, certified trainer. East Brunswick's blessed to have Phil. In fact, he's recently received a National Award of Excellence from Athletic Management Magazine for his research and the method he uses to assist East Brunswick wrestlers safely define how much weight they can lose throughout the season. He measured the body fat of 235 champion wrestlers and uses it to help East Brunswick wrestlers determine their weight class by figuring out the fat and fat content and possible weight loss limits. So something that not every trainer does. Phil's involved in research. He's written books. He's done TV shows, and a credit to the athletic community here at East Brunswick.
Yeah, he's a good one, no doubt.
Not just wrestling. I mean, he does them all. Girls, boys, football, track, cross country, you name it. He's great. He's won many a meet or event for East Brunswick Athletics. Sean now shooting it on a double leg, almost finishing it, but not quite. Got to make up a 3-point difference here with just 15 seconds to go. But he can do it. He secures 2 points takedown, getting the back points now. The referee counts, and he's got 2 points for the back. 2 seconds to go. Sean Daly comes back with a 1-point victory, 10-9 with 3 seconds left. Gordy, it's not over till it's over.
Well, if there was any wrestler that I've watched so far that I could have said would have produced a magical victory like this, it was Sean Daly. What a brilliant performance by the freshman.
One of his trademarks, Gordon, never quits, never quits. He could have just cruised the last 30 seconds. I'm losing by 3 points. Oh, well, what am I going to do? But he didn't. He fought, he came back. And he's a winner tonight.
And of course, he just had a bruising 6 minutes with Yannick Lahaye. Daly bleeding from the face, and the first thing everyone wants to do is slap him on the head and congratulate him. And poor guy limps to the sidelines. So the freshman, with a big victory for East Brunswick, pushes their lead to 17-9 overall. Great job by Sean Daly, the freshman, beating Sayreville junior Yannick Lahaye in the 145-pound bout. Now we're up to 152 for East Brunswick. It's sophomore Josh Zuckerman and the junior for Sayreville, Sean Bouchard.
This Sean Bouchard, by the way, is the brother of Mike Bouchard, who's the assistant coach at Sayreville. Arch rival of Glenn Pazinko in the good old days, as we call it.
I believe Mike is a former Rutgers football player as well.
Yes, that's correct. Now his brother Sean here comes in with a nice record, a 6-3 record.
In fact, I think there's a lot of family stories in this bout. Josh Zuckerman, the younger brother of Jason Zuckerman, the great East Brunswick tennis player.
Josh now is just a sophomore. He has shown great improvement since his freshman year, and he's wrestling with confidence of late. He works hard all year long, but he's falling behind here early in the goings, losing that 2-point takedown. But we've got plenty of time to go yet with just less than a minute left in the first period.
And wrestling is one of those sports, too, where I think the wrestlers who come after, say, a Sean Daly, who wins that emotional bout after trailing all match, they use the Sean Daly match as a great inspiration.
This is true, but you gotta wrestle. You know, you just can't walk out on that mat and say, well, I'll let that inspiration score points for me. You gotta walk out on that mat and you've gotta be determined. You're gonna wrestle. You gotta show a lot of motion, and you've got to score a lot of points. East Brunswick here, if it wasn't for that out of bounds line, I'd say would be in pretty good shape, but I don't think we're going to come away with much in the way of points as the referee calls them out of bounds. And Gordy, before we stop talking about Sean Daly's match, I got to say it, I'm an old-time wrestling coach. Winners never quit, and quitters never win, and you saw it in that bout. Sean could have stopped wrestling at any time. People would have said, hey, nice job, Sean, you're young, you'll do better. He didn't. He stuck to it. He kept after it, never stopped wrestling. And all you young wrestlers out there, you remember that lesson.
Now Sean set the tone in the first 5 seconds of the match. You could tell right off the bat that he was just going to wrestle that way the entire bout.
Well, that's something you want to do, Gordy. You know, if you are the kind of wrestler who's going to keep pressure the entire match and be aggressive the whole time, you want to see action right away. You don't want to lay off for a while and kind of save your strength for the second and third periods. You want to attack right away, even if it means losing early in the match, giving up points early in the match, because you have that confidence that, hey, when I walk out on that mat, I'm going for 6 minutes and there's no way this guy can keep up with me. So you don't mind giving up 2 points or 3 points in the early going. So you're going to get it back.
Sean Bouchard leading Josh Zuckerman here in our 152-pound class by the score of 2-0. Bouchard, the Sayreville junior, Zuckerman, the East Brunswick sophomore. East Brunswick leads overall 17-9 with minute 30 left to play, second period. Left to wrestle, I should say.
Now I think Josh here, you got to look out for him. Of his 7 wins, 5 of them have been pins. So he's got something when he's in the top position. And let's see if we can see some action here when he gets in that particular position. Sean Bouchard with his 6-3 victory coming away with 4 pins. So we got 2 pinners out here. Well, let's see what happens.
Less than a minute to go, second period. Still 2-0. Sean Bouchard leading Josh Zuckerman. They tangle out of bounds. Gives Zuckerman a point on that one.
Yeah, they indicate 1 point for an escape. Both wrestlers in the neutral position now, and it's a 2-to-1 match, 2-to-1 lead for Sayreville. But Josh now maybe getting his second win, looking for an opening here, moving his opponent, changing tie-ups, looking for that opening so he can take his shot. Look at this move, right? Some form of headlock, but he's going to be in trouble unless he faces his opponent. He's going to give him 2 here. He's got to work on that finish a little bit. I think he gave this up last time. Sayreville's going to get the 2 points there as he slips that leg in. Working to turn Josh over, but Josh looking for the head, and end of that period.
So Bouchard tacks on 2 points to his 2-to-1 lead. It's now 4-1. Sean Bouchard leading Josh Zuckerman. 152-pound class. It's bout number 9. 13 to go. 13 overall, 4 to go, I should say. Final period coming up.
Now this could be Josh's strength there. Let's see. He's in the offensive position, working to break his opponent down. Josh is young. He's only a sophomore. This bodes well for future East Brunswick wrestling, working hard. East Sayreville cheering their wrestler, Bouchard.
They had to counter to the Zuck cheer that East Brunswick had started.
Oh, the old Zuck cheer, huh? Okay. Both fans opposing forces. I think I hear it. Fans of both sides getting into the action here with about a minute to go in the 3rd period. East Brunswick's got to make up 3 points though. Working the legs, but has got to do a little better in turning his opponent. Looks to me Sayreville might get called here for stalling pretty soon. He doesn't appear to be doing too much on bottom. Josh getting a little careless, but got to get some back points. We got to turn this guy over. If we can. Okay, up a little bit too high. Sayreville with this reverse cradle could pose trouble for Josh unless he knows how to counter it. And that's the trouble I was referring to. Okay, Josh has got to keep this now and turn it over. He's got himself an armbar, a knuckle roll, good pinning combination, but he's only got 10 seconds to do it in. And the dreaded out of bounds line right there. 5 seconds to go. He's got to make up 5 points. Looking for a cradle. East Brunswick fans delighted with this 8-3 victory.
So Sayreville junior Sean Bouchard beats East Brunswick sophomore Josh Zuckerman 8-3 in the 152-pound weight class. The lead for East Brunswick overall now at 17-12 over Sayreville. And stepping up for the 160-pound class on the left, Greg Tharney, East Brunswick senior, and Fabian Pintado, also a senior for Sayreville. Tharney having to change caps after soccer season.
This Fabian from Sayreville brings in a 6-3 record. Very similar to Greg's 7-4 record. So we have 2 wrestlers pretty evenly matched in terms of record. Greg did place 5th in last year's GMC. Working hard for a takedown here, maybe to a cradle. Couldn't finish it. Now he's looking to improve on that 5th place finish. He was a champion for the Hamilton East tournament. Made it to the semifinals of the Top of the East. And this kid is an athlete, All County Soccer, Group 4 for the Bears there. All County Soccer player, Group 4, of course, East Brunswick soccer team making it to the finals. Once again, Gordy, I want to stress East Brunswick really has set the standard athletically, whether it be girls sports or boys sports or outdoor facilities or fan support. Everybody looks at East Brunswick with a little bit of envy. They love to beat you anytime they get that opportunity. In every sport, they love to do it. But to East Brunswick's credit, they strive for excellence, and you see it not just athletically, but academically as well, with the honors that East Brunswick has reaped athletically, academically. The people of this town have a lot to be proud of, and it doesn't just happen. It's a credit to the whole community, the administrators, the public, the teachers, the coaches. It seems to be a real team effort here in East Brunswick to provide a quality education for our youth. So, Gordy, why did the state cut East Brunswick $5 million? They got one of the biggest cuts in the entire state.
It's tough all over, Greg. It's tough all over.
I can hear him out. Good job, East Brunswick. Look, we're taking $5 million in state aid away from you next year, but keep up the good work. There's got to be a better way, Gordy.
Well, if there is, they sure haven't found it yet, have they? That Quality Education Act has come under a lot of fire.
Yeah, what is it this month, Gordy? Goodness, but I tell you, it's gonna be hard times in East Brunswick. You just don't absorb a $5 million cut without cutting programs, without laying staff members off. It's crunch time. It really is. My hometown, where I teach too, of Old Bridge, is suffering a $3 million cut. I guess we could say these are challenging times for education. And going now into the second period, Sayreville with a 1-point lead, but Greg Thorney of East Brunswick almost getting the takedown, but going out of bounds.
You're watching the 160-pound class. Greg Thorney, this East Brunswick senior. And Fabian Pintado, also a senior from Sayreville.
This is a good matchup. We got two seniors, pretty much identical records. We got 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the second period. Greg's got to watch his backing up here, though, a bit. He's got to take that first step forward. I think this referee may hit him. Trying to move his opponent, just look for an ankle pick. Referee brings the opponents to the center. Let's watch Greg's first move here. Let's see if he backs up. He's got to take that first step in. Ooh, got to watch it. He's got to stay in that circle. He's doing that. The Sayreville opponent taking a circling tactic. Nice shot by Greg there. Can he finish it, though? And he does. 2 points. Big takedown there. Let's see if Greg works now to turn his opponent. Dropping to a leg there to ensure his opponent doesn't escape. 44 seconds left in the second period. East Brunswick with a slim 1-point lead.
So Thorney will take to the offensive here with his 2-1 lead. As you mentioned, Greg, 44 seconds left to go, second period.
Let's take a look at the first moves. East Brunswick looking to chop in that arm. Sayreville with a switch, and we've seen a lot of switches from Sayreville tonight. But East Brunswick effectively blocking that maneuver, looking now to turn his opponent. This is going to be tough now. East Brunswick should use that line here to his advantage, and he does. Drives his opponent out and effectively blocking that escape from his Sayreville opponent.
.15 seconds left to go, second period. Thorny continues to lead Pintado 2-1.
Let's take a look, Gordy, at both first moves here. Let's see Sayreville. Sayreville's going to switch. Ah, he did a stand-up. And a good one, too. Might be able to get that one-point escape here. It's got to break free, though. It's not enough just to separate a little bit. You got to break free. East Brunswick maintains that contact. No points awarded.
So the two seniors continue to knock heads. 2 minutes remaining in this 160-pound bout between Greg Thorny of East Brunswick and Fabian Pintado of Sayreville. Thorny on top 2-1. East Brunswick with the overall lead, 17-12.
This a very even bout, very even, which we suspected. East Brunswick trying to stand up to a switch, getting blocked in both. Good bet here might be to go out of bounds and start over again, which the referee just indicated. Once again, let's see first moves of both wrestlers. Very important concept here in wrestling. Get that first move, jump the gun, try to beat your opponent. Let's see, East Brunswick's getting set. Thinking now what he should do, getting a mental image of what he should do. Sayreville coming on top. East Brunswick with a nice switch. Good move.
Thorny picks up 2 more points. He now leads at 4-1 over Fabian Pintado. A minute and a half left to go, third period.
Look at that, wow. Terrific wrestling. Sayreville in on that leg, but East Brunswick showing tremendous sense of balance there. We've got a 4-2 lead here for East Brunswick. Got a little more than a minute here in the third period. It's still a horse race, Gordy. It's just a small 2-point difference.
Greg Thorny and Fabian Pintado continue to mix it up. Now with just a minute to go in the final period, Thorny still on top 4-2.
Working a whizzer. In addition, you may notice he's trying to keep his hips down. When your opponent gets in on your legs, you've got to get your hips down. It's not enough to get your legs back. Get those hips down to the mat, get your power into him, block his attack. This looks like a nice double leg by Greg, looking to turn the corner, which he will here in a second. He's going to put his opponent to the back. He's got 2 points for the takedown, getting back points now, going into a pinning combination here. We've got 35 seconds to go. We need a pin here. We need 6. Greg working hard to get that. Should get a little more perpendicular to his opponent. Referee looking closely. Sayreville fighting, but it may 15 seconds to go.
See, Pintado had a hold of that headset of Thorny there, trying desperately to get out. 9-2, Thorny on top now.
Illegal. The ref slapping his hand away. 2 seconds ago, and East Brunswick just picked up a lot of points here now in the closing seconds of this bout. East Brunswick coming up with an 8-point lead, which translates to 4 team points. The closest of margins there to get that, and he got it right at the whistle with an illegal hold. When you mentioned he pushed up into the face there, East Brunswick got a 1 point for that, and that is enough to give East Brunswick 4 team points versus what would have been just 3. So perhaps a lack of concentration on the Sayreville opponent in the closing seconds of that bout.
So Greg Thorney helps put East Brunswick up 21-12 as we take a look at the 171-pounders. Senior Bill Thiel of East Brunswick and junior Mike Sanchez of Sayreville.
East Brunswick coming in with a quick 2-point lead. Very clearly the aggressor in this match, and I got to tell you now, we're getting down to some very important weight classes here, Gordy. We've just got 2 weights after this, which Sayreville theoretically could score 12 points if they get both pins. That's 24 points, which means East Brunswick, if they want to lock it up, has got to win this bout, and if they can get a 4-pointer, that would clinch it. So this is an important bout if you want to sit back and smoke your cigar going into the last 2 events of the night. And once again, Bill Thiel looking to be the aggressor. Coach Pazinka warning him, slow down a little bit, don't get sloppy. It's a long road here you got to hold. Don't burn yourself out right away. But Bill looking strong. And once again, Coach Pazinko saying, hey, think a little bit, you know, take your time out there. Got to be in it for the long haul. This is an important bout. Very important right here.
Still in the first period, minute 20 left to go. Thiel leads 2-0 over Sanchez.
And we've got a warning here for East Brunswick stalling. Not quite sure why that was. Maybe holding on to an ankle too long. But the referee making it very clear to the wrestler what he's got to do, what he did wrong.
Minute 17 left, first period. 171-pound weight class. Thiel versus Sanchez.
And East Brunswick now up on their feet, going to try to prevent Sayreville from escaping. And the fans here liking the action they're seeing. They realize that this is a big bout. If East Brunswick just wins this by the barest of margins, the worst they could do is tie for the evening. Once again, we have this strategy, which East Brunswick has been doing very good on. Let your opponent go, give them the 1-point escape, and then take them down.
Already tonight at the 103-pound class, we saw East Brunswick Mark Gensler, the freshman, beat Kieran Patel, also a freshman from Sayreville. Eugene Lazark, the sophomore, beat Tom Lanfranchi, the senior, to go up 6-0. Then Tom Martinez answered the bell for Sayreville, beating Rich Klein. Andy Meistrick with an impressive outing, beat Chris Metz. At 130 pounds, it was Anthony Sy, the senior, beating Meyer Patel, also a Sayreville senior. Mike Capodanno wrestling up 5 pounds for East Brunswick, and a junior, beat Craig Nallett, the Sayreville sophomore. At 140, it was Doug Mikulin, the junior, for East Brunswick, beating John Denuno, the Sayreville sophomore. Then in probably the most impressive match so far, Sean Daly, the East Brunswick freshman, wins with 2 seconds remaining on the clock, beating Yannick Lahai.
East Brunswick there in a little bit of trouble. We did give that 1 point, Gordy, for the escape, thinking we could get the takedown, but this time it didn't work. We got taken down, and now we're losing 3-2 with just seconds remaining in this first period.
So at the end of the first period, it's Mike Sanchez, the Sayreville junior, leading East Brunswick senior Bill Thiel by the score of 3-2. And running down the rest of our action, as we mentioned, at 1:45, it was Sean Daly, the freshman, with an extremely impressive outing, beating Yannick Lahai with just 2 seconds left on the clock. Nice comfort behind win for the freshman, showing a lot of spirit. And then at 152 pounds, it was Josh Zuckerman, East Brunswick sophomore, losing to Sayreville junior Sean Bouchard, making it 17-12 in favor of East Brunswick. And then Greg Thorney looked strong against Fabian Pontato. A couple of seniors locking horns, and Thorney wins it to give East Brunswick its current 21-12 lead as we watch the 171-pounders get set for period number 2.
And Gordy, these wrestlers are very well matched here. They're both seniors. Their styles seem to be the same. There's a slim 1-point difference. This match can go either way.
Little house cleaning going on. Center of the mat there.
We got a little house cleaning, and we got a little group cheers here from both sides. This is great. Both sets of fans here are cheering their respective athletes on the action. East Brunswick working up to a base, while Sayreville looking to destroy that base and turning your opponent over. And we got a lot of time left here in this meet, Gordy. Anything can happen.
Only a 1-point difference. Sanchez leading Thiel 3-2.
We could get a point here for an escape, and we do. Bill does a nice job getting out, but he's got to work now to take his opponent down because it's tie score, 3-3. Big match here. This Sayreville took a nice shot, but very nicely defended by Bill. But, ooh, that was close. And I don't think the Sayreville fans like it. Looks like we got a little break in the action here. The official making sure that there's no coaching going on. And by the way, you're only allowed so much injury time. I believe it's 2 minutes. Once you use that up, that's it. You want to take another break, you just handed your opponent a big 6 points. So it's not like you can take a break, an oxygen break for a couple minutes every time. That's not going to happen. And we had an extended shot by Bill, put himself in trouble there. If he can get to his base, but he's got to watch out for this cradle, which Sayreville is putting on right now. He's in big trouble now. Sayreville has got a very effective pinning combination. He was just awarded the 2 points takedown, and we're in trouble here, Gordy. We've got 50 seconds to go, and this Sayreville opponent, he can smell a victory here. What Bill's got to do is try to get to his stomach and break that grip. Lay flat, push you off on the legs, but don't sit there because this is a dangerous position to be in. He could be pinned 5 seconds from now. That's how bad this position is.
Thiel continues to struggle to get out. He trails 5-3. Been in that cradle a long time.
This cradle is an effective pinning combination, but fortunately Bill has been able to defense it and not give up any points. Now that's amazing, Jordy, that this guy can put the whammy on you like that and not come up with any points.
Well, Bill Thiel's a battler. He'll come out and give you 100%, 110%, even though he's 0-5, still looking for his first win of the season. He trails 5-3 as we enter the third period, trailing Mike Sanchez, the Sayreville junior. East Brunswick with the overall lead, 21-12. This is the 171-pound class.
This is interesting, Gordy. You got a wrestler now who you said was, what's Bill's record?
Bill's 0-5.
He's 0-5 now, right? 0-5, and yet if he can pull off a victory here, he will be a hero. I'm telling you, a victory here is crucial. So despite his lack of success before, if he can win this match in the next 1 minute and 48 seconds, he'll be a hero. It takes some doing. He just gave up another point. He's losing by 3 big points.
Sanchez.
Oh, look out there. That was tough situation there. Giving up 2 points. Sayreville extending the lead. If Bill's going to see some action, he's got 1 minute and 15 seconds to do it in. In a bad position here. His opponent going to put him to his back, and the position's worsening. Got 1 minute to go, and we're in deep trouble here. And that slap of that hand indicated severe problems. Bill getting pinned with 58 seconds remaining. The Sayreville fans going berserk because they can sense it. They are tough up top in the last 2 weights. Despite East Brunswick's team lead of 3 points, they can sense this victory, something that they've never enjoyed against the East Brunswick wrestling team.
So in a hurry, Sayreville picks up 6 points with the Mike Sanchez pin of Bill Thiel in the 171-pound class. And it's now 21-18, East Brunswick with the overall lead. And as we move into the 189-pound class, you're looking at East Brunswick junior Greg Meyer and Sayreville sophomore Dustin Smetana.
Who is that, Gordy?
I have listed Dustin Smetana.
I just wanted to hear you say that again, Gordy.
You're checking my pronunciation, is that what it was? You know, you've checked my math and you checked my English tonight, Greg.
Keeping an eye on you.
Am I back in school again or what?
This match here now, Greg is normally a 171 pounder. Now when he moves up a weight class, he's not giving up 5 pounds, he's giving up, Gordy?
18.
Good, Gordy, he's giving up 18 pounds, and that is a lot of weight to give up. So Greg's at a definite disadvantage, but I'll tell you this, he works hard, and his experience is starting to show. He's starting to come around now. He's looking good, he's aggressive, he's being smart so far. He's got a quick 2-0 lead, and we're down to the last 2 bouts of the evening. It's crunch time.
Minute 6 to go here in the first period in the 189-pound class. East Brunswick junior Greg Meyer and Sayreville sophomore Dustin Smetana.
Looks like, Gordy, the referee is explaining the reason for a caution to the East Brunswick wrestler. That's like a warning the first time, but if he gets an improper position a second time, it's going to be a 1 point for his opponent.
I say either he's warning him or he's quizzing them the way you're quizzing me.
No, the quiz is in the action out there. This is like a midterm exam for each wrestler. You practice all week long, and you get to show your friends and your parents and the spectators what you've got. So this is exam time for all these young athletes out here. This Greg's doing a good job here. He's in good position. Sayreville is stretched out. and the referee calls both wrestlers for stalling, apparently in the belief that East Brunswick wasn't sticking with something long enough. Coach Pazinko agreeing with the call over there. That was agreement, right? But once again, the referee taking the timeout. And I like to see this, Gordy. You know, athletics is an educational experience. That's really what it is. These kids are learning a lot about themselves, about being part of a team. And this referee is taking time out to explain to the kid why I called it, what you're doing wrong. Hey, learn from it, kid, and let's come back and do a better job.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that much instruction by the official, but I think it's great. And that's the end of period number 1. Greg Meyer leading Dustin Smeatna of Sayreville by the score of 2-1 in the 189-pound class. East Brunswick with a slim 21-18 overall lead.
If East Brunswick comes away with a slim decision here, they get 3 points and it would be 24-18, which means that going into heavyweight, they could still get pinned and it would be a tie.
But you said you don't look ahead.
I don't look ahead. But in looking ahead, Gordy, the heavyweight is one of the best heavyweights in the county. His name is Jim Kirk. He's got a perfect 10-0 record.
Kirk also one of the best offensive linemen in GMC football. Extremely impressive on the gridiron.
Hey, they have a definite advantage going into heavyweight. But look at this now. We just secured another 2 points. We got a 4-1 lead. If we could do a little bit better than a narrow 7-point or less decision, we could get 8 or more. We're going to be in good shape. Now the referee stops the bout. And that was known as a full Nelson. Probably you use that a lot in your days, Gordy, a full Nelson.
They used to use that on my sister a lot when she'd get me angry.
An effective hold, but unfortunately, it's illegal in scholastic wrestling, and you don't even have to apply pressure. As soon as those fingers touch, and it could be for an instant, a little slap, referee stops the match and gives your opponent 1 point. Interesting strategy here, giving Sayreville that 1-point escape, but that gives us just a mere 4-3 to lead. So we got to get a takedown. It's no good to let him up if you don't take that guy down real quick. And we've got 58 seconds to do that in, and we do it. Greg comes up with that 2-point takedown, Gordy. That strategy has paid off for the most part for East Brunswick all night long.
And it's 6-3. Greg Meyer leading Dustin Smeatna, the junior ahead of the sophomore. 38 seconds left in the second period.
Did your sister win often, by the way, Gordy, in those wrestling bouts you were?
Well, I'll tell you what she won. She always won my parents' decision. That was what she always won.
The ultimate referee, yes. Mom. We've got a stalling call on Sayreville, so we pick up another point for that. We've got 13 seconds to go here in this period, so we've got a 4-point decision so far. And it looks like Greg's working pretty hard. We ran out of time there, Gordy. We could have used another 5 seconds. That was a nice pinning combination Greg was using.
Well, we've come to the end of period number 2 between East Brunswick's Greg Meyer and Sayreville's Dustin Smeatna. And it's Meyer on top at the moment, 7-3 in this 189-pound bout. Final 2 minutes coming up.
By the way, Gordy, you see a break in the action and you think, well, the kids get back to the circle and that's it. But there's a lot going on here. The kid's checking out to see how much time is left. He's checking out the score. He's getting advice from his coach. He's looking at the advice that the opposing coach is giving the other kids. So there's 5 things going on here, and most people think, oh, the kid's getting back to the circle. So there's a lot of strategy, a lot of things going on. a wrestler has to be aware of the score, how much time is left, all these things. And it's a smart wrestler who will bring all those things to play and end up being a winner.
Well, I would never even consider thinking ever again that the wrestlers was just getting back to the circle.
Yes, you would, Gordy. I know that. And you learned something tonight. I want you to write that down.
But I'll tell you what, this is probably one sport, too, where you can actually listen in to hear what the other coach is saying, just because of the proximity of the wrestlers in the gym. You can hear what the other coach is instructing.
Look at this, Gordy. We just scored another 2 points takedown. We've got a 5-point lead. I think Greg can turn this guy. He's been very close. Come on, get out front there. Sink that half. You can do this. He's got a minute to turn him. We get some back points here, and we're going to be cooking.
Greg Meyer on top, 9-4, leading Dustin Smeatna by 5. Smeatna picks up a point. It's now 9-5.
Once again, the strategy, give up 1, but get 2. We've got 48 seconds to do it. Come on, he's got to turn this corner here. We got to get 2 points here, Greg. Got to be a little more forceful, trying to turn that corner. Sayreville, of course, doesn't want to have any part of it. We got 30 seconds to go. 4-point difference in scores. What we need here is we need a takedown, and we need some back points. And what the ref says is, he said stalling on East Brunswick. Okay. That's his judgment. I'll go along with that. Claiming that you're just holding onto that leg. You're not trying to translate that into any points. Here's the story, Gordy. We got 18 seconds. We got a 3-point lead. You got to take the guy down and put him to his back, which we almost could have done there. But we've got 10 seconds to go. Hey, Gordy, I'll bet you $1. This is going to be a tie for everybody.
So Greg Meyer comes up with the win by the score of 11-6, defeating Sayreville sophomore Dustin Smeatna. And now it's up to the big boys. It's a 24-18 lead for East Brunswick. Jim Kirk, the highly touted, undefeated Sayreville senior.
Say big Jim Kirk. This guy is 10-0. He's got 5 pins. He's going against a sophomore, Ken Molina. He's a first-year wrestler. You talk about pressure here, Gordy. Poor Ken. His job, Ken's job, is not to get pinned. But he's a first-year wrestler going against a highly experienced guy who's bigger than him. Let's see what happens. Ken's been showing a lot of potential, but he's got to get some experience. He's only a first-year wrestler. Now look at this Sayreville kid. He's hungry. If he knows he can pin this guy, this meet is going to end up tied, 24-24. Anything less than a pin, East Brunswick wins.
Well, Kirk certainly looks like he's going for the jugular. It's as if he smells blood.
He does. But again, amazingly enough, this would be a victory for the East Brunswick wrestler if he doesn't get pinned.
Right.
He will be a hero in the hallways tomorrow.
I've learned something tonight.
You've learned a lot of things, Gordy, but he's greatly outclassed here, and he's in bad position here. He's in tough shape here, and there's a lot of time on the clock, Gordy. You don't want to be where he is right now, but he's giving his best, and it wasn't enough. This wrestler got beat by a good opponent. Coach Pazinko making sure he doesn't throw a headgear. He throws the headgear or it gives an emotion here of some sort of display, and that's a team penalty point. Now, he didn't do that. So what we've got here is a 24-24 tie. They say it's like kissing your sister, I guess. But here we've got a case where Sayreville has not defeated East Brunswick, but East Brunswick, on the other hand, has not kept that string alive of winning or defeating their Sayreville opponents. So it looks like now the Sayreville coach is going back and say, hey, let's check the score here. We're not quite sure about it. Referee going over it very carefully, but it looks to be official, Gordy. We've got two evenly matched teams. We're looking at a 24-24 tie. Unbelievable. Some good wrestling here tonight. And Gordy, you learned a lot.
And not only that, I kept my math and English skills sharp as well, Greg. So Jim Kirk's pin, 117 into the first period, produces the tie for Sayreville. Kirk knew what had to be done, and he delivered for Sayreville. A tough go for Ken Molina, the sophomore. All points, all arrows, all signs were in Jim Kirk's favor. He had the experience. He has 2 years advantage. Not only that, a significant weight advantage over the sophomore Ken Molina, and Kirk comes up big for Sayreville.
Without a doubt, but you saw him come out. He gave everything he had, and he gave that 110%. The kid's young, first-year wrestler. That's what it's about. He's paying his dues, and a couple years down the road, he's going to reap the benefits of even experience like this. But you know, it's tough to be a heavyweight. There'll come times when, hey, it comes down to you, and you are outclassed like this. But congratulations to, I think, both teams. Gordy, we've seen a lot of wrestling tonight, some great wrestling. I think we have two quality teams here. East Brunswick with a young team, and I think you're going to see some great days ahead for the grapplers of EB.
So